sure.
So one.
Okay, so welcome everybody to the June 4th meeting of the Township's Municipal Board, Museum Board meeting, I'm sorry, for Wednesday, June the 4th. If there's a disclosure of pecuniary interest now or as the meeting progresses. So we have a motion to approve the minutes of the Nipissing Township Museum Board meeting held May 7th. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Seconded?
Was it here?
I guess I will. I can.
I don't know for approving the minutes, if it makes a difference, if you can approve them because you've read them
Yes.
as declared.
Okay.
So,
Okay, I can, yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I wasn't sure if I could do.
yeah.
Thank you. It was a one. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So the first thing on the agenda is the staff updates on the building and maintenance.
So we've got from the engineer to use the gift shop office building for the season. So the public works staff are currently getting everything ready to open for the summer, sort of installing AC, getting the water running, making sure the internet's working, all that stuff. I don't believe we have an update on our yet.
No, somebody was just asking me about that. I think Councillor Kirky, when he was in the office, and I said, no, we still haven't heard. The AC is running in the building. The water is going. They've actually just did some work on the hot water tank, as I just paid an invoice on that. So that's up and running in that there. And John Paul was over working on getting the internet and that there. And I'll get the Minaris open, done for later this month so that we can be able to use it for the gift shop, that anybody wants to use debit at the gift shop as well. So yeah, so everything is just sort of moving along there. So
Okay, seeing no further discussion, the event planning.
Okay, so the Recreation Committee and Nipissing Museum have a shared poster with info about the 2025 events. So this can get distributed to schools and to the tourist camps in the area. So I'm currently distributing these via the landfill as many of the tourist camp owners come in. So that's sort of trying to get information about the events out into the world. There's a few extra things. So when I went to the Powassan Library to install the exhibit in their gallery in May, we were invited to help host a games night in the galleries area of the Powassan Library. So that's going to be June 19th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. I believe that's Thursday. Sorry, I didn't write it down. Yes, so that'll be a Thursday evening. If there are any volunteers who would like to come and help me out.
I could be.
Lovely, thank you. So we've got the games that are currently on exhibit there. This is Snakes and Ladders board that this students and I made last summer, as well as the Habitat game, biodiversity game that we were working on as well. And I think there may be a few more things in the collection that I might be able to bring to make it more interesting, and possibly some extra games just in case there's a crowd.
You never know.
I think they have some things there, but they have at least one prize that they're going to give away. I think they have a few different ones to give away as part of this event. If the candy has arrived in time, and I have been able to get it all prepared, I was wondering if we could bring some little gift bags as additional prizes.
Sure. I don't.
And okay.
Anybody? Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's that. It's the Powassan Library's event, so I think if we post on our Facebook page, but I believe they have their own poster, they'll be putting.
I think they've already got their games night poster out, because I think we posted at the post office.
That one was for, so they've got one prize that they're giving out on the games night is for the photo contest. So
Okay,
for the folks that go into the library anytime and use one of the games and take a photo of themselves and send it to the library, they'll be entered in a draw.
okay.
So that's what that poster was for. But I will make once I've confirmed the details with Rhea at the Blossom Library, I'll make an event post on our Facebook page or linking to the Blossom Library's event page. So that's it for that. Then we also have been invited to Commanda's Summerfest. So the museum, I believe, is collaborating with the Commanda Community Center on this event this year. But the Commanda Museum has invited us to come to the museum for that event and hold or bring a display relating to the history of the area to our museum. And yeah, I think they're hoping to have several other museums there as well, depending on availability. But it was discussed last meeting whether we would all go over together and close our museum, or whether we'd leave someone behind at the museum to look after our own visitors. I believe we got permission from the chief administrator if we do want to close the museum for the day and have everyone go over and support, we can do that.
Absolutely.
We have
Yeah,
a
and
motion, we have a motion.
Yeah.
Now, are we able to take one of the games, or
I should think so.
I would think that would be a great thing, because
Yeah.
if there's kids there, they would probably get a kick out of that,
Yeah.
right? So,
I'm sure we'll try and have a collection of different things for different ages. I have to double check with Deb from the Commanda Museum exactly how much space. And hopefully we'll be able to borrow some smaller pop-up tents, maybe one or two. The event, I double checked, it's taking place from noon until 8 p.m.
mhm.
There is, however, mentioned that there may be other things happening after 8 p.m. But the details are not posted yet. But I've been told it may be a lip sync battle.
Oh,
I
geez.
know that because I'm involved in, it
Yeah.
was supposed to be a lip sync battle. I'm not sure what's going on with it yet, but
Okay,
yeah,
I was just wondering, and it can be a motion for a future meeting, but when there are details out, is this something that we are interested in participating in? It was mentioned to me by Jonathan Harris that they would like the museum to be participating, but I haven't heard any details after that, so. But it's something to think about if anyone is interested in participating in whatever this ends up being.
I
With a
know.
bit more detail,
We might need
maybe,
some
might be
practice.
fun, might be
Yeah.
I
fun.
think practice is, I know. I think it could be fun though.
I think it would be.
Yeah, and it can be one person or it can be a group
Yeah.
of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the staff might be interested. I'll have to ask them,
Okay, good.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because I think that
awesome.
would be a really nice thing to do
Fun
as a
thing.
group and, to show our support, not just show up with the historic things,
Right.
but, to stick around afterwards and participate more actively.
Yes, for sure.
As much as I don't like being on stage, but, yeah,
If you wanted to
so,
do that.
Yeah, I
motion,
will.
right? Yeah.
so.
Okay.
The other,
So just before we
Yeah.
get off of
sorry, yes,
that event, so we have a motion that the Nipissing Township Museum be closed on Saturday, July 26, 2025, and for the staff to attend and participate at Summerfest hosted by the Commanda Museum and showcase items from the Nipissing Township Museum. I need a mover and a seconder. Gladys? Okay. Thank you. It's done.
We just need to all in favor.
Sorry, all in favor? I didn't do that before either, did I? All in favor? Thank you, Carrie.
So there's another, I can't remember if I asked you about this motion, to donate something to their silent.
It's,
Okay.
it's the next motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as part of their Summerfest, they are hosting a silent auction. I was wondering if we would like to donate, for example, a T-shirt or something to their silent auction.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, good.
Old stock, new merchandise. Doesn't matter.
Does it matter? I don't think it matters.
Oh, it's the following one. I think the next motion is to invite them to Heritage Day and then to
Oh,
note.
Okay.
Yeah.
sorry.
You jumped
I
ahead.
have them out of order in my list.
Yes,
Right.
you can just change the motion numbers. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well. Can I just read them this way? It doesn't matter, does it?
No, and you can just change the motion numbers at the top, because I've numbered them. So if we end up doing the donation first, then just renumber them.
We
Well,
can go in order.
We'll go in order of the motions. They're not that critical,
Sorry.
so we're all good. Okay, so so are you gonna go into the heritage, them inviting them to our Heritage Day?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Is it okay if I invite them to do the same thing, to bring in display and?
Absolutely.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that at the last meeting, is
Yeah.
possibly having them at ours.
So again, I have a motion that the staff invite the Commander Museum to participate in the Heritage Day celebration on August the 17th, 2025 at the Nipissing Township Museum. Mover and seconder, please, or discussion. Yeah. Debbie? Seconded, okay, yeah. All in favor? Yeah. Carried. Okay, now. And then motion that the Nipissing Museum Board donate merchandise from the Nipissing Township Museum to the Commander Museum for the silent auction at Summerfest. Seconded by Dave, yeah. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay,
So the next event, or rather, our first actual posted event is the Tea and Talk. So I do have some posters to be distributed for anyone who's willing to take those around the different areas. That's about it for that event at the moment. Then for the next event, which is Heritage Day, I have a draft of the poster.
the only, oh, never mind, it does. I was gonna say the only thing is times, but it's on there. I just didn't see it when I looked at it the first time. No, it
Want to
is.
make that bold?
No, it's just me. I just didn't see it. It's fine.
I might just make that bold, just like the date and the time part. 'Cause if someone, you know,
Where-
like,
Where are we going for the silent auction donations?
so I
Where are
have a
we
list
reaching
of companies that have previously donated. Typically, we try and, we send out donation request letters to the companies that are, that operate within our township, so they might not be stationed in our township, but,
Yeah.
you know, serve our area, I guess.
Right.
Or companies that have historically donated. And occasionally we sort of we'll probably do a general call out on Facebook. Cause we do occasionally get, you know, individuals bringing in something handmade or things like that. So.
It looks really good though.
Thank you. It is something that we have done for many years. It might be worthwhile trying to find something a little different next year, just to change things up, so we're not always asking the same people for support, if that makes sense.
Well, it gives us a year to think about it.
Right?
It gives us a year to think
Yes.
about it, think on it.
Were there any other comments on the poster, any small changes? Okay.
Really good.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve the Heritage Day flyer for 2025. Dave?
Seconded.
All in favor? Carried. Okay. Okay, staying with the Heritage Day, the band.
Yes, so typically, or historically, we paid $300 for 3 hours of live music. So usually they come for the 4 hours of the event, but they'll take breaks in between. So we're essentially playing for 3 hours of music, but they're usually here over the full course of the event, or until about half an hour before the event closes. Do we want to hire a band for Heritage Day? Do we want to pay $300? Should we increase that? Since the cost of everything is rising, just to be fair, to keep up with inflation and things.
And costs a lot. What's the name of that group that has a following? What's the name of those two guys that have a following?
Timber Country, but they don't play in the summer.
Ah,
Yeah,
'cause
I know.
They have their own following, so they bring people.
We just bring people,
Oh.
they just bring people with them when they come.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize they didn't.
They don't play in the summer. They played they played West Ferris this last
Okay.
week, and then they won't play again until the beginning of September. Now, I could maybe con them in, I don't know.
Like, I'm just thinking they bring people. to
But
come.
what they get when they play. for
Yeah, they
West
bring
Ferris is worth
their
it.
Yeah.
followers.
And maybe
Or
those
they-
people
But they
will
might
buy
play cheaper
stuff.
too,
yeah,
because you see
yeah.
it.
Okay.
Now, it's, I mean, they're good, but
What were they called?
Timber
Timber
Country.
Country.
Timber.
I'll check with Mike.
Okay. So typically we have been.
I know Tim's going away for the weekend, well, so am I,
asking
so.
musicians that are local to this area. So the past few years were sort of circled between the Great Houston Band.
These
Straw
guys
Hat
these
Band.
guys grew up in the area. His,
Oh, okay.
Mike's dad lives on Hart Road.
Oh, okay.
They're my kid Tim Jameson,
yeah, yeah.
Gerald, I
Yeah.
think Gerald's his dad's name. He lives on Hart Road. Mike lives on, well, when Mike's out at Karen's house, he lives on Hart Road.
They're
He's-
very good.
And they're really good.
Yeah, if you can find out that.
I'll check.
Sure.
I'll call Mike and see
Yeah.
what he says. I don't know whether they will or not,
Yeah.
because they like their summers.
Yeah.
They like to be able to. They're out there to play music. They play music all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
they never stop, but
Yeah.
they're not out there to make a living off of playing
No.
music.
Yeah.
They're enjoying their music.
Well, it might be, as towards the end of the summer and it's, an afternoon event rather than an evening
Yeah, it's on a
event.
night one.
Right?
Oh, no, it'll be a night one.
Yeah.
It'll be an afternoon one out here. It'll turn into a night one.
Yeah, yeah, but it is late summer, so
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I'll run it by them and
That'd
see.
be
my-
great.
So if you do hear from them, Gladys, let me know, because if they're not available, then I'll try and contact someone else.
Okay, I'll check. Tim's still here. If when I go home tonight, I'll call Karen and see if Mike's home. He might be on the road, he might not be home, but I do have his cell phone number, so.
Awesome, thank you very much.
I'll chase them now.
So with discussion, we need to determine a maximum cost that we're gonna pay for a band.
Don't they charge 400?
Normally.
Normally.
450.
Oh, is it 400? Yeah.
It might only be 400. I'm pretty sure the Legions pay 450,
I wasn't
but I'm
sure.
not sure.
We also typically, I think we budgeted usually for 2 events to have a band. So far, the plan is only to have a band at Heritage Day, not at the Tea and Talk, since talk was sort of the focus.
Yeah.
Right.
Same with Remembrance Day. We won't have a live band, so
So $500.
Yeah, so
What do
you,
you
So
think?
is everybody, no, just
At least you know they would be covered and if
And
they're going.
if they want.
Yeah.
if they want to do it, $500
Yeah, because you're not
would make
doing
us
it at
good.
the other one.
Mhm.
so we
Everybody
could
good with
approve
that?
up to
Sure.
500.
The
and
way the
then
ma-
if
yeah.
they-
Maximum of 5,
Yeah,
Yeah, maximum.
and in order to get something
So
really
do I need
big
to
to have
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah.
you could write that in there. You
Yeah.
can amend the motion. That's totally
Approve
fine,
hiring
Jane.
a live band at a Heritage Day event.
Michael's
To a
my favorite,
maximum
Michael.
of, yeah.
I drive them all the time.
Well,
And they,
that-
I'm everybody's DD.
yeah. so
We have a
that-
van.
Yeah. You're a roadie, one of the roadies.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor then that says that the Nipissing, it's an amended motion, that the Nipissing Township Museum Board approve hiring a live band for the Heritage Day event to a maximum of $500. I need a mover in a second, please. Yeah. Debbie, yeah. Okay, all in favor? Perfect, thank you. Okay, moving on. Okay, this is going back to the library,
Oh, should I go out of
discussion.
order?
No, Yeah.
Sorry, that's
It's
okay.
okay.
I guess, I thought I had emailed you
It's
an
okay.
agenda.
It's okay. I
It's
know- I
quite
know
all
how
right.
Oh, this is connected to the internet.
So
Yeah.
this
Sorry.
motion is based on the discussion that was held earlier, that the Nipissing Museum Board donate prizes to the Powassan District Library for the Nipissing Township Museum Board Game Night held on June the 19th, 2025. And as discussed, Jillian suggested we just take some candy and, in bags and stuff like that. So is there any further discussion? And I need a mover in a second. Dave?
Sorry.
All in favor? Perfect, thank you. Might as well just leave the motions in the order that they're in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done all that. We are now at the artifact status report.
So there hasn't been, much progress on the sort of record consolidation or cataloging in the last month. However, we have been asked to move or remove some of the artifacts in the community center here in the basement storage to make space for the recreation committee supplies. So that will sort of take priority on other collections things once I'm over at the museum. I'm not sure if we can move things to make space or if we'll have to move some things back to the museum again. Yeah, so that's all that's happening in collections so far.
So you'll just keep us up to date?
Yes, I don't think there's anything really big, but if there's anyone that's willing to volunteer with some of that movement, just let me know.
Let us know when you're gonna do it and then
Okay.
yeah.
Exhibits?
So I've recently been working on research for exhibits for our tea and talk event, so sort of centered around maple syrup. The plan is to have some small sort of text and photograph based exhibits on each of the tables where people are going to be sitting. So some I'm gonna make them stand up somehow and have sort of questions on the outside and then a flap of some sort with the answer hidden inside, just to make it slightly interactive. As well as whatever artifacts I can collect that we have in the museum that relate. So, yeah, so that's all that I've been working on in terms of exhibits recently.
Okay. Strategic plan update.
Okay, so I took a look back at the strategic plan that we've been working on and just to sort of talk about what we have been doing in order to make progress on that. So I have a few pieces and some things that we've already done to work towards those. So one of the things was develop engaging community programs and special events. So we have 3 events that we're hosting and or will be co-hosting or with the Pulaski Library event as well, but so that sort of is engaging a slightly different community, hopefully. And 2 of those are going to have a slightly new format. So we'll see how that goes, whether it's more engaging than previous events or not. So another point that was part of the strategic plan was collaborate with local museums in the area. We'll be attending Canada's Summerfest with a historical display, and hopefully they will be able to do the same for Heritage Day. Another point on the strategic plan was continue to create a greater presence in the community. So having installed exhibits at the Pulaski Library several times over the last few years, now we're co-hosting like a games night event there. Hopefully that will just sort of raise awareness in the surrounding area, especially now that Blossom doesn't have their own museum since Clark House was shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it'll help engage more more locals outside of the immediate area. So I've also reached out to the South Shore Education Center to invite their classes to come to the museum to visit as a field trip before they're out of school. So another point on the strategic plan was develop a 5-year exhibit plan. So you'll have with you, I believe,
one for everybody, yeah.
Mhm.
okay. So this is something that I started writing last year. And it's a rough draft of things that I'm hoping to have as permanent, semi-permanent exhibits in the different buildings to try and give as full a picture of the history of the area as possible. Some of it may need collaboration. So for example, the Indigenous history, I would like to contact some of the local Indigenous peoples. I did email last year and I haven't got a response, so I tried different avenues at some point, just because it's not something that I want to, we don't want to step on anyone's toes. We want to make it sensitive, but it is an important part of our area history, and we need to acknowledge that. So some of them are going to take a little bit longer than others. Some of them are things that the students and I can add on, you know, 1 or 2 exhibits at a time, or like 1 or 2 exhibits per year. But so that might be something that we can work on finalizing as a plan, as part of the strategic plan at a future meeting. But these are the points that I sort of noted down. So another point on the strategic plan was consolidate records of collections in Past Perfect software. So this has been started, and hopefully will continue throughout the summer season. The written records from 1976 to 1983 have already been entered into the database. Another point on our strategic plan was continue to seek funding opportunities for foundation repairs. A grant was submitted to, the Ontario Trilling Foundation again this year. Another point on our strategic plan was create improved storage space for files and collections. Towards the end of the last year, there was enough in the budget to order some museum appropriate storage containers, which hopefully will assist us in either organizing storage space or replacing some of the non-archival storage containers that are currently in use. And another thing on the strategic plan was complete parking lot maintenance, and that is also done. So we are making progress. And that was all I had for that.
That's great.
Did we get in touch with Montagnes over for,
They haven't been into the office
Okay.
yet, so, but I will reach out as we get closer and
Yeah.
into the summer, because they often attend the events.
Yes.
And they sign up for a couple of them, so if I don't see them, then I will reach out, but I do have that note.
Okay,
So,
good.
yeah,
yeah,
for sure,
yeah, super. That's for remembrance.
Okay,
yes, yeah.
I knew I
they're-
recognized the name, and I
Yes.
couldn't remember why.
Yeah,
Yeah, their son is a graduate of the Canadian War College and he will come and speak.
Oh, that would be
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
yeah,
So-
Awesome.
yeah. I was thinking they might be coming into the office sometime soon, but
And
they
I-
haven't been in yet, so,
Probably in the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Well, they got lots on the go now.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Good.
So Jillian, in regards to the tea and talk,
Yep.
just to back up a little bit, there were goodies to be made, right?
Yes.
You've never said how that's gonna happen.
So I believe I asked you to reserve the community center. Was it for the 1 day or the 2 days before?
well, I believe the event is on the Sunday, so
Yeah.
it's booked on the Saturday. I
Okay.
can book it on the Friday if you need as well, just let me know. I don't believe there's anything booked in here on the Friday
I
either.
think 1 day should be good, because it's not a whole bunch of different things. It's just a bulk of like 4 things.
Okay.
So because of the health unit requirements, because we get the community center well water tested on a monthly regular basis, we are allowed to use this kitchen. It's a commercial interactive kitchen, I believe. So the baking is all gonna be done here, with however many volunteers I can find.
Okay, what date are you doing the baking for that?
So
Sorry.
it'll be the.
The 12th.
Yeah, Sunday the 12th, or Saturday the 12th, sorry. So,
And times, have you figured that out, or will you just
it will sort of
email
be
us?
dependent on when people are available. I have to double check with Chris if I can be here, does someone from the office need to be with the students? It's just a Saturday, or can we have a board member be with them?
We can figure that out when you're, start at the museum, next Monday. So we can
Okay.
figure that out as it gets closer.
Okay. My plan is to test some of the recipes at home. They're pretty simple, but, and then that will give me a better idea of how long each thing is gonna take and sort of how to divide the labor, if that makes sense.
And you're planning on being here?
Yes.
Okay. I have no problem with working with students, it's just that
No, the students,
you need somebody who knows
Yeah.
what you wanna make.
the
right?
students, they're good with the tours, they're good with the cash. They're best at the museum, looking after that side of things.
Yes.
And, then hope, even if we just have 3 or 4 people, I think that
So
would
just
be.
send me anyway for sure, a time, and I'll just make myself available. It's a Saturday, so. You let us all know, if anybody who's,
you're talking about.
No, that's the
No.
tea and talk.
Oh, the tea and talk.
We'll
when is
probably be
that?
doing something similar for the Remembrance Day.
Okay,
Yeah,
Probably,
when's the tea and talk?
but I'm
again?
not much
July?
help because
July
I can't do
13th.
anything.
July 13th.
Or was that Gladys?
I said, I'm not much help anymore because I can't even take something out of the oven hardly, let alone.
Oh, no.
Maybe you can do the stirring, Gladys.
Yeah, because I don't need my cane to stir it.
There
As
you
long as I
go.
can use this arm.
We can also, I
So
think we
July
can set up chairs and sit at the table to do some.
You
of the
can, you
food
can
prep.
move everything, you can work in there, like,
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
we
it's
did, when
easy
we
to
did
work
the
in
No,
stone,
that's what I mean, get some of the chairs into
Yeah,
the kitchen.
when we did the scone
But it's-
baking, we
it's
did
not-
everything
yeah.
in
It's
there,
not
we
a
did
sitting
nothing out
environment.
here, it
Yeah.
was all done in there.
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
can take the chairs in there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody will get a heads up
But I
a day
can't
or
use
so
this arm
before
like that.
that, like,
yeah, that's all
yes.
we need,
No,
right? It
yeah.
doesn't matter who it is, they don't need
No,
to.
I know,
Like
but
you,
I'm
like,
not
This would be
a
my
baker.
stir
fry. I am.
Someone tells me how to
Yeah.
stir.
Oh, no, I'm a
My
baker,
shoulder's
so
really bad.
I'm a
I
baker,
can't-
so
I
I'll
can't
be
breathe.
able
I can't-
to,
can't
like,
even
whatever
put
you
my
need,
finger.
I'll, I mean, if you need pastry made, I can make
I
it
have it in
before we
my
get here, and then it'll all be done.
July 20th, I think
But
it is.
I know they don't like you to do that.
No,
Okay,
it's usually
yeah.
inspection
Do
because
it
we're
here.
serving it to the
You
public
serve
in
it.
that way, if we do
It's
it
crazy.
here, then we're okay.
Yeah, but I can do it here too, I can bring my food processor and just do it here.
Yeah.
So, but I am a baker, so I can help out. It won't take us long.
I hope not,
It won't.
but I'd rather start early and end early in case there are disasters.
There won't be.
You have to do
There
do-overs?
won't be
Yeah.
disasters, there won't be.
I have been known to burn a thing or two sometimes.
No,
Jane will
really.
keep you on track.
I do bake a lot, so I am a baker.
Yeah, one of the next things I'll be trying to do once I'm at the museum is trying to figure out where we're gonna go for the local ingredients. Cause I don't know, like, if,
Are there any
Like-
Amish in Nipissing that we
No.
can go to?
I
No?
don't,
No, they're in all in
I think
Chisholm.
there are several local farms, but I'm not sure how many of them will let us place like an order ahead of time, or if it's just sort of what's available at the market. So I'll have to look into that, but yeah, hopefully we'll have some luck there.
Okay. Is that it?
I think so. I do have some brochures as well as the post. I don't know if I mentioned that, as well as the Teen Talk posters. So if anyone would like to help distribute those, if you want it.
I can take a bunch to take to Powassan and drop them off, that's not a problem. Is there anything anybody else would like to discuss? Seeing no, time.
It is 6:39.
So I have a motion that the board meeting is hereby adjourned at 6:39. The next meeting will be held Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. Dave? Yeah. All in favor? Perfect. Thank you, everybody.
thank you.
I'm gonna get some of those.